when social media first really started, right? Like I was one of the early people on YouTube, funny enough, with the first channel I had, 2 channels actually. Back then, what content got rewarded? What content, say, got pushed to the forefront? Content that had value, content that people would watch again and share, and there was that depth, and it would just stay at the forefront, right? That's really how it worked. Then, again, with more and more people jumping on and the algorithms taking over, a lot of people started playing the algorithm. So instead of, okay, let me make a video that will solve a certain problem, people started thinking, well, let me make a video that the algorithm will like. And a lot of the content that you now see on social media isn't made for you, it's made for the algorithm. It's not giving you what you need, it's giving you what you want, which might not necessarily be helpful. Get it? There's a big shift. And here's the scary part of that shift too, because people know this. Like say there's a piece of advice that really produces no change. I don't know off the top of my head, something, I don't know, like say there was a video that said if you clap your hands, you'll transform completely. And say that's the piece of content. Just clap your hands and there you go, you've made it. Does not work, right? You'll feel a little good, just clap. But say that suddenly started getting a lot of clicks. For some reason, everyone's like, oh, what, the clap your hands technique? Oh, whoa, what's this? And the algorithm was like, whoa, clap your hands, let's boost this video. Now, what are all the other creators going to do? Copy. Whoa, clap your hands is trending. Let me make my version of clap your hands. And suddenly they'll start making clap your hand videos. And then that boosts the algorithm even more, and more people do it, and it adds a lot of fake authority behind an idea that isn't necessarily valid. You're like, well, if there's thousands of videos on the clap your hand technique, it must work, right? No. Scary, huh? There's a great documentary actually on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. And it talks about what you probably already know. If it baffles you, that's not good, because then that means you're just in such denial with how the world works. It shouldn't baffle you. It should be like, well, of course, this sucks, this is scary. And there's no real solution to it. It simply explains how social media works, how the algorithms work, how it really just, calculates everything that you do, and once more gives you what you want, not necessarily what you need. Okay? But the thing that it doesn't address is what I'm talking about here. The social dilemma just talks about how that affects you as a consumer. It doesn't talk about how it affects creators. Right? Say there's some really key advice, and usually the key advice isn't flashy, by the way. The advice that gets you ahead is just very fundamental. It tends to be very boring. It's like, hey, let me explain, is this, this, this. It's not the, hey, just clap your hands. So that gets buried, and all the people trying to put that out there get buried. And it reaches this point where it's like you can't even find it. And even as a creator, they might be like, well, screw it. I'm trying to put the real stuff out there. I try to give people what they need. Let me just give them what they want. Clap your hands technique 2.0. Here we go. This is what I try to do. I try to do a mix of the two, or I'll try to combine what you want up front, but then give you what you need. So it's like, here's some little clickbait. Click on it. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. You click, and it's like, psych! There is no clap your hands. Here's what you need. So I'll do that. But then again, if you also look at my social media, it's not the most poppin', right? I do have a considerable amount of followers, but I don't have like millions. And that might have baffled some of you. You might be thinking, well, the advice is so good. Why does it have millions? Because a lot of it is giving people what they need, not necessarily what they want. Here's another thing. The way the algorithm works now is it also rewards people who post constantly. So instead of, say, back in the day, you'll wait to have a good piece of content and put it out there. Now every day it's, well, what can I post today? And you just start adding fluff in the mix. Adding fluff, repeating different bits. If you even go deeper on this, say with YouTube, it's like, oh, well then watch time is key. So you'll see people purposely just ramble on longer to try to get more watch time. They'll try to hook you and be like, oh, and I'm going to get to the point, but first, blah, 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 trying to get some more watch time in. Oh, but it's coming, blah, 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 soon, blah, blah, oh, you watched a minute and a half, great, blah, 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 it's coming. And it's like all this fluff in a video just to get the watch time. Going deeper, this is what's so crazy, it's not just fluff. You might even see people try to repeat certain words or keywords trying to get that boosted in the algorithm. So it even controls what they say in the video. So you're really not getting the raw, unfiltered truth for the most part on social media. Okay. Now, does this mean never watch social media? No. I'm sure a lot of you who've followed me on YouTube, you've gained a ton of value, and I've gained a ton of value from free content on social media, of course. However, do understand that the algorithm plays a role. Do understand as well that on social media, a lot of the content that will get rewarded by the algorithm is problem-focused, not solution-focused. Meaning it just talks about your problems, but it never truly gives you the solution. Why? Why problems over solutions? Because it speaks to your selective focus. It speaks to your RAS, reticular activating system. Right? Solution, okay, that's cool. Problem, red light, blink, click. So anything that just problem-focused, you're going to click on it. Even beyond that, just in terms of understanding business, say you're someone who's doing coaching, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with this, right? But you are going to educate people more so on their problems, and then of course your coaching is the solution. You also can't just fix some problems just with a simple video, sadly. So a lot of people hope that at some point they'll get all the answers through social media, yet in the end, they end up just learning a ton about their problems and nothing is solved. And this is something you must start differentiating in your mind is, am I learning about my problems or actually solving them? It's crazy how someone in the self-help world can tell you everything about their problems. They know their problems better than anyone. It's like, oh, and this, and it happened because of this, and then this thing, and the conditioning, and I saw in this video, and this, okay, but it's still there, right? Well, yeah, but I know all about it. Cool. Focus on solving. Also realize you don't need to learn everything about your problems to solve them. What's another downside? It's disorganized. So you're trying to figure out how to put the puzzle together, watching all this stuff, and again, there's not that clear system. Now, what I do for social media is I still watch it. I think it's great. However, I watch it more so to get a general idea of what's what. And say, for example, I'm like, you know what, I want to learn how to fish. There you go. Let's just say that. I'm looking how to fish. So I'm going to look on YouTube, on social media, for videos about this. And then when I find, for example, someone like, oh, I kind of resonate with this. This makes sense. I will try to find that person's content that is off platform. That could be on Zoom. That could be in a product. That could be in a book. Anything where the algorithm does not interfere. And this here, again, what I'm saying here isn't the flashiest content, but keep it in mind because it's going to get worse. And you've got to be aware of it. It's not about not using social media. It's about being aware of how it actually works. It's the same as people are like, oh, I'm never going to use Instagram. Well, that's not smart either. In today's world, if you're not on social media, do you even exist? Yes. Right? It limits a lot of possibility. I think it's great to use as long as you don't get used by it. Same here. Great to use all the free content, but don't get used by it. See it for what it actually is. What I would also do is challenge yourselves here. When you do watch, say, content on social media, to not multitask. Now again, it's fine if, say, you're driving somewhere, you're working out, that can be multitasked, of course. But if you are sitting, say, in front of a computer, or you have time to do nothing and just really lock in on a piece of content, lock in. Don't open other tabs, don't be on your phone, resist that urge of that ADD, like, new stimulus, here we go. It's like really, really lock in and add that depth. Because this is what I've seen. When I started out, there wasn't all these YouTube videos. There was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, Facebook was starting out. There wasn't much. And that forced me to add depth to any piece of content that I was able to get my hands on. There wasn't an abundance of content. It was very scarce. And the good content that you had, you would watch it again and again and again. For a lot of people, sadly, and this is happening more and more with today's culture, just blasted with social media, attention spans are down. People can't focus for more than, I want to say 2-3 seconds. It's to the point where even an Instagram story is too long. You're like 15 seconds, next. Like it's so bad. And you're going to see in the future, it's really going to be this, quote unquote, war of attention span. Like the people who get ahead are simply the people who can focus for more than 15 seconds. You'll see. You could be the smartest person ever. If you can't hold your focus for a long period of time, you're not going to get very far. It'd be very easy for me to say, sit down and watch a piece of seminar that lasts, say, 4 or 5 hours straight. Not checking my phone, right? Even back then, phones were nowhere near as addictive as they are now. I wasn't opening other tabs. I wasn't looking around. I was just locked in, taking in the information or taking notes. That's what I did. And you would have much more success if you found key pieces of content that you then added depth to than a lot of content that's just very surface-based. And this is the trap that people fall into now with social media, is that there's more and more and more and more and more and more and more content. There's too much content. It is insane. Say you had to coach you. You all know yourselves better than anyone. You know your excuses, you know your comebacks, you know guaranteed what's going to happen if someone says this, if someone says, oh, do that. How can you checkmate yourself into success? Like, no joke. Imagine right now you had you in front of you as a client, and you had to make sure that you succeeded. How would you do that? You might be like, well, step it up. Okay, say you were to say that to you. What would be your comeback? Say you're like, okay, well, let's get accountability. How would you weasel your way out of that? What would be the excuse? I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, so start analyzing that. And ultimately, it's how can I checkmate myself and put myself in a situation where success is inevitable? That's so much of this. And it's also being honest with yourself. It's putting your ego aside. You know, when I first started working on my social skills, I was so shy, I couldn't even ask someone for the time. And I knew I didn't have what it took. You know, a lot of the first few weeks, even months of me trying to say hi to people was me walking around and roaming the streets during the day, unable to say hi. And after a while, I was like, well, I don't have what it takes. However, I'm smart. How can I coach me and checkmate myself into success? And what did I do? I simply surrounded myself with people who would hold me accountable. I found other people who wanted to work on their social skills. I went out with them, and I didn't want to look like a fool in front of them, and that created a situation where I was checkmated. I was like, well, better take action now. Can't weasel my way out. Learn and identify your weaselly ways. Be honest with yourself with where you stand, and then imagine you had to coach you. This frame of mind, game changer. Checkmate yourself into success. And it's more of this like friendly checkmate where it's like, you're probably not gonna like it. Trust me, when I went out and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with some other people, work on their social skills, it was scary. It wasn't fun. It was really scary. However, as soon as I was in that situation, because there was no alternative, you just simply surrender. Easy as that. We think that so much of success is just this discipline, this just battling forth. When you put yourself in that situation, you have no choice and you surrender, and it actually gets very easy.